Good to have you in the studio. But you look more like someone that is ready to japa.
Me? No, it's just the code, and we're trying to rush.
Yeah, that's rehearsal now for japa. Over there it's
I think
cold.
Tolu is the one on the japa fence. You understand? Me, I'm for Naija.
You're for Nigeria, right?
Yeah.
Or you're for Japada?
Japada, more like So, I mean, for me, there are a lot of things involved, right? In the sense that, I mean, age is one of the key factors for me, right? So if you say you want to japa now, right, and you're early 20s or you just finished secondary school, okay, you have time to adjust and get
make all the
back
mistakes.
To your feet. Do you understand? But if you're over, I mean, I was having an argument with my friend. I was like over 40s. Do you understand? My friend was even 35. Like, you don't have any business jackpotting. Do you understand? So because you going there now, you're going to have to start all over again, right? And it's 50-50. Some people it works for them, some people it doesn't. Do you understand? So going back, you're looking at maybe first 2 years before you can actually settle down and get a job or source of income that you probably will be, comfortable with. Don't quote me. It might be less, but on the average, it might even be more. Do you understand? So you find out a lot of people are they're selling, like we just saying, like we just said, selling everything they have, and relocating. And you find out
some are even putting some family members into debt.
Exactly. You find out that the grass is not really as green on the other side.
That's if we find the grass at all.
Do you understand? So that's my own point of view, though.
But anyway, so this morning, listeners, we're looking at the exploit of Nigerians abroad, what we do, and how we find our space over there, and generally, just trying to see what it means to be abroad. None of you has jackpot yet. I was just going to find out from you what it means to be abroad. But Tolu, if you're talking of jackpot, he said is completely against jackpot, particularly at a certain age. Yeah. What about you? Is there any good in jackpotting in the first place? And if it is there any age restriction?
I did know, but go answer your question.
So yeah, there's like a lot of benefits traveling out and leaving this country, because the country is going through a lot of inflation right now, and unemployment rate is really high, and food inflation and all of that. And I feel that it's better to look for a greener pasture outside of your...
By the way, sorry, I thought we were going to have a third panelist join us, but he's running out of the studio. Okay, he'll join us later. He jackpots frequently.
Yes. I see him a lot.
Go back to you, Tolu.
Yeah, so
all right, but let me find out. When we say jackpot, I think we first of all put it in context. There is what you call buying. Okay, the normal street boy expression is buying a purchase of citizenship. Citizenship by investment. Yes, that's another way for it. So in the UK, I know that some years ago, with £2 million investment, you could get initially you get permanent residence, permanent residency. Then from there you get citizenship with £2 million.
I mean, there's a process.
Yeah, there's
definitely
a process.
You're going to get your PR.
I mean, I'm like, with £2 million, you even become the prime minister. It's easy.
With £2 million, where am I going to?
So what do you need?
£2 million.
So when you talk of jackpot, really, isn't there a basis for people to want to jackpot in Nigeria? As in, because times are tough, people are struggling. Is it wrong to jackpot, Ogeba?
So I would say it's wrong, right? Because the individual has his or her reason, right? But there are a lot of people that just follow that narrative, right? That just travel, everything will be fine. You see some people, you hear some people walking, going through Libya, and people dying on the way because you want to go somewhere that you don't even know how you're going to survive, right? So for me, let me summarize, right? If you don't have anything going for you in Nigeria, you're down bad, then you can give it a try. But if you have something going for you, you mean you have a roof over your head. You get you have some regular source of income, and you know, you're doing okay for yourself. Let me not even say you're doing well. You know, you have money or anything. But I mean, if you can do that, right, I feel, you know, you should focus on yourself and try to improve, right? Because there are a lot of people that have traveled and they are just stuck there. You know, they've not achieved what they want. You know, the money, the more hustle where I go hustle, I never see the money. Do you understand? You know, so there are a lot of people that are just stuck there, and it's sad because I mean, even as it is now, the way people are living, obviously there are job openings now automatically, right? Do you understand?
More people get the jobs.
You know, and we've always stressed the fact that we should work smart, right? Not necessarily work hard these days. So I feel. If you have your head on your shoulders, you know, and you have something going for you, then you don't necessarily need to travel. At least travel, go on holiday, see how it is, you know, because it's a completely different ball game, right? The culture shock is crazy. Do you understand? So, like here now, we have house helps, we have people that, you know, work with us at home. Over there, it's expensive, you know, to pay those kind of things. It's very rich people that meet. So I have a friend that's there right now. You know, he has 3 kids. So his wife has to do, I don't know, either or. I can't remember who exactly. Well, one of them does the night shift, one of them does the day shift.
In the UK?
Yeah, in the UK.
Yeah, that's
so you find out they only get to see when they won on the afternoon shift. Yeah, there's afternoon shift is not specific, right? Afternoon shift, because you get to come home and meet the other person at home with the kids, right? That person is probably asleep. Do you understand? Wake him or her up. Okay, I'm here now. You understand? That one gets up, has his bath, leaves, right? You come in the morning. The person that stayed, the partner that stayed overnight, is the one that will take the kids to school. Do you understand? So in some cases, you're coming back home 8. It depends on your job, though, but you know.
And you're not allowed to fall sick too frequently in those places.
You can't now. Nobody's one like this heavy rain this morning now. A
Many
lot of people have come.
The
rain. What do you want to tell that?
Many will even leave their homes. You say there was no road, road block.
Do you understand? So
you joke.
I'm telling you, the culture shock is very, very. You know, it's surprising. You know, so it takes a lot to adjust. And, you know, I'm not downplaying. I'm not saying you shouldn't.
But many people disagree with you that leave culture shock.
Yeah,
the economic shock where they go through here in Nigeria, that one they shock me.
Let them go. You'll find out. You'll find out.
But you know, when we talk about Japa, this is the Tolu here. Now, is it, you know, we have this idea, this mentality that a lizard in Nigeria could become a crocodile abroad once you travel. When you say traveling is good, why do you think that is the solution to our problems?
Okay, so I'll come from the unemployment aspect. So like when you want to grow your career basically in Nigeria, it's a bit difficult because when you start from like an entry level up to a senior role, the salary that you're going to like get when you're in the senior role, it can't you can't compare it to your role basically. But when you know you are outside the country, when you're starting from an entry level, you are going through all the career process down to the senior role, you know that your salary is like meeting with your role basically. But now in Nigeria, for example, I followed my sister for an interview recently, and the whole process was just funny. She was going for a data analysis tech role, and the whole process was bad. For how much? For 70,000 naira, all the process that she was asked to do, she was asked to write an essay, she was asked to do things that are not relating to the data analyst role. But like when you go abroad, when you go through the school, the process and everything, when you know you're coming out, you know that, okay, this compensation I'm getting for this role is going to make you better. Skill.
Now, I understand what you say, and I've heard a lot of that. And this is not to say whether Japa is good or bad. We just evaluate it now. Now, look at this. A lot of the people, an example of what you gave now, I know somebody who told me, okay, about seeing a bread like agege bread in the UK. And when she got there, she said Nigerians use it with beans, one thick bread like that. Call it agege bread as well. And that when she got there, she exclaimed that, now wow, I get bread where they buy for Nigeria 500 naira, 600 naira. Now they use, was it 10 pounds or 5 pounds?
They don't turn continental dish.
Exactly. You know,
it's
not cross-border. And over there, an average 2-bedroom is for around 1,500 pounds.
That depends on the area.
That depends on the area, you know. Yeah. So, but on average, I'm yet to see any 2-bedroom in Nigeria where you pay 1,500 pounds per month when it's not a serviced apartment. So, you don't expect somebody in Nigeria to earn as much as they do over there. Now, where I'm going with this is it really about the fact that Nigeria is not good enough, or our expectations are high to the extent that you spoke about you can't really grow a career? I'm sure you heard last week about a Nigerian who was working here, who relocated and still maintained his job here. Here, he was working at a ministry, a big boy. Over there, he's a taxi driver. There is no growth career path. A lot of people are into their working out there, you know, security guards and all that. Now, the same way, though he's earning more over there, a lot of them are conscious to the extent that, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe let me just ask you.
I like where you're heading.
Now, how many Nigerians abroad use an iPhone?
To a certain degree.
To a certain degree.
Yeah. You just get a contract line. You know,
okay, great. So the contract line because of that. Now, but in Nigeria, you're not even looking for something you can manage with. You're looking for the best. So you buy, iPhone, exactly.
The latest Pro.
You know, you know. So is it really about, oh, this place is difficult, or we hardly live within our means in Nigeria?
Is this a Tolu question? Right?
Yeah, this is a Tolu. Let's start with Tolu. We'll come back to you.
It's because we don't live within our means sometimes. Because most of those people that, you know, have that iPhone 15, I recently checked it out. I'm seeing 1.5 million. And we all know you're not earning up to that in Nigeria. So I think most of them is through crime. And, you know, you can go away with crime. A lot of crime in Nigeria, unlike the diaspora.
Crime and sponsorship.
Crime and sponsorship. Yeah, and you might not really get a lot of sponsorship abroad. Like we talked about the last the gender and all of that. People complain that
even Nigerians abroad don't sponsor as much.
Yeah, it's crazy. You see, like the mistake we always make is convert the currency over there as against, you know, the naira. The people living there are spending the money there. Do you understand? So the value for it is there. If you're living there, you're getting taxed, you know, as usual. So the money might not even be enough. The average person that comes to Nigeria probably saved for the trip, probably bought his or her ticket in January for December. Do you understand? So a lot of people are always like, man, like I have a friend. She's in London, right? And I can't remember exactly how much she's earning, but I think 3, 5, or 4, 5, either or, right? And I'm telling her, so are you going to come to Nigeria? And she's like, I'm not going to come to Nigeria except I'm earning above. Do you understand what I'm earning now? And I'm like, what are you talking about? You probably can't earn the same thing. But I mean, if you're here, right, the value for whatever currency is here, naira, right, is what you get the same way it is there. And a lot of people travel, right? Let me use the word Japa, with the idea of going there to hustle. There are very few people that are looking to even go there to start a business.
Yeah, okay.
Do you understand? And you know, if you start a business, right? Obviously, this is not easy. It's not going to be easy. Same, likewise here as well. But if you start a business there, the system sort of, you know, supports you more. You can get grants. You know, there are a lot of things, right? And because you're going to be, you know, paying salaries, right? So there are a lot of grants and a lot of benefits as a company. Do you understand? So I only wish a lot of people can go, you know, can go there with that thought, right? Because I mean, from the little time I've been there, right? Okay. I've found out that most of the well-connected people, you know, with strong networks, people that own businesses, you know, a restaurant, a joint, you know, mostly social places, right? But because they are providing services, and if you are Nigerian, for instance, the Nigerians will always patronize you first, right? So there's always,
and we're a lot.
yeah, we're a lot. You understand? There are people that are even referring your business to people that are still here. Like, man, when you get there, go and look for Coyote. Is the plug. You understand? You know, so you get those kind of referrals, and it sort of aids your business to a certain degree. And obviously, if you are doing good, right, you know, it's one-way traffic.
Okay.
You put in the work, though, but
You
know,
get
that's,
your,
yeah.
let's go to the guests, you know, the August moment you're having here. When you hear the voice, I only introduce him, but when you hear the voice, you would know who we're talking about. So in your view, what is your take on Japa? Yeah, I told you know who it is.
Look, arguments have been made in favor and against. Yes. Let's look at those who argue against it. You take, for instance, a man who graduated maybe like 10 years ago. Yeah. Never had a job. Has always been reliant on family members, maybe friends helping out here or there. And then he's offered an opportunity to go abroad and make something of his life. How do you now convince that person that
Not
going
to go.
abroad is not a better option?
So this is a question for me.
Yeah, that's a question for you.
So while you were away, right, I literally identified that fact. Like, if you have nothing going for you, fine. You understand? You can leave, right? As against selling everything you have. You know what I mean? You're someone, okay, was you were talking about a friend that sold everything, right?
Yeah.
You know, so-
I have a friend who went abroad to Finland, sold the little that he has or had, you know, went abroad, had to work as a security guard somewhere, you know, had frostbite, having to work in the snow and everything, was admitted in hospital for a bit. But the thing is, he traveled abroad without an intention of ever coming back. So whatever suffering that he's experiencing abroad,
He's winning.
he knows is the journey that he has to travel to live the kind of life that he wants to live. Now we also have to remember that those who actually sell their stuff maybe are looking, and this is not an argument for you to go ahead and do so,
Yeah, of course.
but maybe they're looking 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, the situation in the country will not get any better. You know, so if I can do it now, why not?
Might as well, right?
And then you're not doing it for yourself, especially when you have a family. You're thinking, my kids down the line, I want to do this for my kids
For them. Better
to have
education.
a future. Because you keep them here, and this is also not me saying that the country will never get better. So people need to listen very carefully.
Yeah, of course.
You know, keeping them here, you're not sure about their future. You're not sure that when they do graduate, they can
get a
find a
job.
job. And at the end of the day, they're not dependent on you again to see them through. So you're thinking long run. They're there. They have a future. I can come back here and our lives just completely go on. So those are sacrifices that some people think about,
Yeah.
you know, when they sell up their stuff, and because they're thinking about their tomorrow.
Yeah, well, you see, when you talk about Japa, Japa, I mean, for or against, it's definitely your choice.
It's your choice.
to make. But when you look at Japa, the questions at times that are hardly answered is, who are you that you want to Japa? Have you explored all the options you have? Have you, when you get abroad, what are you going to do? Because, for example, a lot of people are working abroad right now, and maybe because of the environment over there, it conditions you to think and to plan and to strategize. You see a lot of people that start working as drivers, and while they're working, driving cabs and all that, after a while, maybe they can even drive for 10 years, then they move into other things. Now, a lot of the drivers you have in Nigeria, the money they make, at least going up, seeing taxi drivers, they are the ones that eat the fattest at the bars, drink the most at the bars, eat the biggest meat and all that. In Nigeria, the question is, when you look at Nigerians going abroad, you see them recondition their mind, financial literacy. In Nigeria, if they had that kind of prudence and financial literacy, would they be better?
Exactly.
A lot of people come to Lagos, for example, or go to the big cities. But right now in Nigeria, there are opportunities in agric. Even not really farming, you could be a middleman, and you could take advantage of that. Do we explore these opportunities before traveling abroad? So is Japa really the only solution?
Let me say this
No.
before you answer.
Yeah,
you
go.
know, you look at you made an example of a taxi driver. Yeah, a taxi driver here might never own the car that he drives. You will
At least
always
for some time.
you will always work for
Yeah, you
that
work for-
person who was able to gather the funds to buy those taxis and employ you as a driver.
Yeah.
The difference is abroad, a taxi driver can actually own a home
Yes.
because he can get mortgage.
Yeah.
You know, he can get a loan from a bank that will not give him a double figure percentage. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
but here, how do you do that
You
here?
don't have that yet.
How does a taxi driver in this country even pay his rent? Talkers of owning a house.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know, so that's the major difference. You know, people work as cleaners abroad and they do their jobs with dignity. They can afford a certain lifestyle. But here,
Yeah.
it's not
Someone
the
just
case.
sent in a message. Said, Mr. K, I hustle from Lekki, VI to Opik and Ikeja. At the end of it, nothing. But now in the UK, I can shout hallelujah 100 times.
Exactly.
Green
That's
guys
what I'm
speaking.
saying.
Then another person,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah. Another person says, good morning, sir. Please, I lost my job. I want to start a business, which is children's shoes in a busy road, thrift shoes kind of for children. It says, how do I get customers as a first timer in the business? Esther from Songo is asking for help. Now, that is someone that says, I'm not jackpine. Since you're saying jackpine or not, you have opportunities. How do I explore that bit? You'll answer that in a while, but let me take this last message from Emmanuel from Magodo. He says, Oluwakade, that young man in the studio obviously has issues with the UK.
You can say that again. You can say that again.
Says, give him a permanent resident card in US or Canada, and you'll be amazed how fast he will
will
bounce
leave,
out of
right?
the country. Said, I've paid an extensive visit to Canada, and I saw how good life can be. I can categorically say that Nigeria is hell on earth. I know people who sold everything and relocated and have never regretted it. He said they earn and spend abroad, which is true, but can you compare the value of their savings as against the Naira? I traveled last December and came back last month to see the value of the money I left in my bank account has lost more than 50%. Do you want to talk about peace of mind, the security, the value of human life? My dear, as long as you're earning abroad, you are doing well.
It's relative. He has a point still, you know. So back to the lady selling shoes, right? So, I mean, that's why we thank God for what they call smartphones, right? You know, so she can advertise herself on social media, at least without any cost. You understand? So she can start with that. Then obviously, friends and family must. You understand? You need to really disturb them, and I mean, I want to believe your family will support you anyways. So I think you can start with that. Continue to push. If you continue to post, the algorithm will always pick you eventually, right? It's not going to happen overnight, but just continue. Try and push your friends. Word of mouth. You understand? You continue pushing, and I'm sure along the line, right, you will always move to the next step. You know?
I think it's
in response to that,
yes.
I know this person who sells clothes locally made. Yeah, all these adire that people are wearing. You know, and she gathered enough money, you know, support her family and friends, bought a ticket, bought a lot of the clothing, and went to sell them in the UK. And she's going to come back with a lot of
More than
foreign
money.
currency.
Exactly.
So these are things that, you know, if you have somebody who's able to show you that kind of support, I mean, the numbers are limited.
Yeah, of course.
You know, but if you do have those kind of people, you know, it helps. It helps if you can.
Yeah, so you mean, adding to what you said, so if you know anybody that also does that, takes clothes abroad, you understand, you can always add your shoes to the stock. I mean, it's not like everybody has somebody out there, but you know, you just try to continue to push, right? You're pretty sure you get there. I mean, at the end of the day, you get rewarded.
True,
right?
and in addition to that, it's good she's identified what she wants to do. She's not confused. But what's also important is identify your target market. She says by the roadside, I need to be sure that the people that use that road are those that will have interest in children's shoes. You need to identify where parents will be, Of course, not to say men are not responsible. You tend to find out that a lot of women pay more attention to that, mothers, than fathers do.
Yeah.
So just try and identify all that and push your brand. Social media is there for everybody. Don't just go and insult government alone on social media. Market yourself.
You just have to put in.
Maybe when they're talking about government, you see, like you say, all those smart guys, what you're saying, government is bad. You just say, for your best in this and that, reach out to me. I can supply you. And
there are also very many people who cannot afford to pay for shops because shops are really expensive these days. You know, so I also know some people who have products that they want to sell. They go to those, well, not the big departmental stores, but the smaller ones. Yes, I'm sure you know some of those. And you have a trade-off. Look, can I use a certain parts of your shop? You know, whatever it is that I make as a profit, you have a certain percentage of it. You can start from there.
Exactly.
You know, by placing your goods and your services at a corner of their shop, and you just pay them a certain thing from whatever your profit is.
I mean, you're fortunate to be listening to us this morning because ideas are just flowing. You can even go to schools as well. Write to the school, print a little flyer, primary schools, send it out there. Tell them you want to add this to the school. Of course, you know how our system is. The teacher might tell you, yeah, I'll take a percentage. Just let them add a little letter to the kids' bags. If you want to buy shoes, they'll reach out to you, particularly as the schools are coming to the end of the year, the session. They'll need to buy more shoes for September in particular.
It's very key. You need to guarantee quality.
That's it.
Your stuff has to be good. You understand? Not luxurious. Good quality. If if your product speaks for you while you're not there, then you smacked it, right? So if you deliver quality, I mean, for almost every option we've given here, somebody will definitely jump on it because they see the quality in what you're doing.
And when you make that money, please don't entirely follow Tolu's advice and Japa. Use that money for.
I like the story of the woman who started off rough and tumble. You know, it's just like this person who sent in this message. Same way. You know, didn't have a big store and just small, started off even by selling from the boot of your car. I see people who sell from the boot of their cars. You know,
her story is a very
interesting story, rough and tumble.
Yeah,
it's a very interesting story.
Very inspiring story.
All right. On that inspiring note, he's good. We're not saying Japa is good. We're not saying it's bad. We're saying if you're a lizard in Nigeria, there is no way you'll be a crocodile abroad. So make sure that you have something to give. And before you even go out, see if you've given and you've explored the opportunities here. It helps as well. But Japa or not, we need the dollars as well. So Japa is not too bad. But
people in diaspora will send the dollars to us.
Yeah, they should.
But is it a good thing though? I mean, because it's I think it's sad that we're now hinging our future based on whatever happens outside the shores of our country.
Well, interestingly,
when I was growing up back in, whoever thought about going abroad when we were growing up?
I like this,
it was never.
I like this point you say. You see, over time, right? Our culture has even been taken out. The way we think, and is Western influence.
That's it.
From the move from the average series TV movie you watch, you are getting influenced. Over time.
It's not beyond a better life.
The African life is a good life.
It is.
It is.
Do you know what it means to live without debt? Hardly is there anybody in the UK or the US, for example,
who's not owing money.
But in Nigeria, many of us are owing. We live, if you die, rest in peace. Your family is
now. Everybody, I mean, you ask somebody 2 times 2, the person can't answer. But if you ask him how much he wants, he tells you 60 billion.
That's it.
What will you do, man? We don't have time.
Anyway, guys, we need to wrap up.
Man, we don't have time.
It's past that time. But hey, thank you so much for tuning in. The X Spaces Nairametrics page on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
That is, and be a part of that.
You can also catch up with us every day morning matters on Spotify. Before the end of the day, definitely we'll
be there. All right. The long and short of it is that whatever you do, you Japa or you stay in Nigeria, make sure you work. That's the only way you can make money. Look for opportunities, explore them, and grow bigger.